Redmen, introducing the starting lineups. For Seton Hall, at guard, number 10, James Major. For St. John's, at guard, number 3, Boo Harvey. At guard for Seton Hall, number 23, John Morton. And for St. John's, at guard, number 4, Michael Porter. For Seton Hall at center, number 25, Ramon Ramos. And at center for St. John's, number 14, Marco Baldi. For Seton Hall at forward, 0-0, Mark Bryant. And at forward for St. John's, number 23, Matt Brust. For Seton Hall at forward, number 13, Morton Sally. And at forward for St. John's, number 31, Shelton Jones. The coach of Seton Hall, P.J. Carlissimo. And for St. John's, coach Lou Carnesecca.
And we'll come back with the opening tip-off of Seton Hall 1 and 2. And the team comparison, certainly one of the most significant points. Seton Hall has buried 69 three-pointers. St. John's only 5.
Big factor in tonight's game, Bruce. Certainly, St. John's really doesn't look to take the three-point shot. On the other hand, Seton Hall will put it up, in particular Majors and Katsika.
Opening tip controlled by the Pirates of Seton Hall. Major goes right to the basket. And the rebound pulled down by Martin Sally. Seton Hall in the visiting blue, St. John's in the home white.
St. John's playing their man-to-man. That's what they like to go to.
Morton loses the ball, and Shelton Jones is there. Jones streaks to the front court. Rejected by Ramos.
I think
by Major.
Excuse me, but I think what you're going to see is a very physical game, and that's the way it started.
Oh, there's another physical play. Offensive foul. Michael Porter taking the hit. It's on John Morton.
Here's the bounce pass right here. Good positioning by Porter. Bang. Undoubtedly a charge. Good call by the official.
Boo Harvey out of the backcourt for St. John's. Guarded by James Major. As you can see, the Redmen have dominated. They have won 13 in a row overall, 17 in a row at Alumni Hall. The last Seton Hall win, 1981 at Walsh Gymnasium on the campus of Seton Hall.
Seton Hall playing a tough man-to-man. They've been playing more man-to-man than earlier in the year, although they may want to go to the zone as the game progresses.
Jones all the way, lays it in. 2-0 St. John's.
That's the consistency that Shelton has played with. Great move for the basket.
Ramos spinning inside, and he lays it in, and a foul is called. A chance for a three-point play.
Great matchup. Jones and Ramos. We talked earlier in the show. He really has been tough. He's looking for the basketball he wants, and he seals Jones down low beautifully. Nice pump fake. Goes by him, and is at the line to possibly finish off a three-point play.
Foul is on Michael Porter. And Ramos at the free throw line, an excellent free throw shooter, 89%.
Seton Hall as a team puts the ball in the basket from the foul line, Bruce.
Pirates lead it by a score of 3-2, and here's full court pressure.
This is what PJ said he would go to. He wants to stimulate the game. They want to make it a running game. They don't want to make it a half-court game.
St. John's has started slowly in their last 3 games, and that was a problem for Lou Carnesecca.
Well, I think what we'll see him looking, he'll look for Jones right out of the blocks here.
Brust penetrating. He puts it up, rejected by Bryant. Foul called before Bryant got over there. Martin Sally is called for a reach, and it will be a two-shot opportunity for Matt Brust.
Brust, an aggressive, tough player, wants to take it to the basket whenever the opportunity shows. He's the kind of player you like on your team, Bruce. He really battles every second.
He's had a good year also. He's been consistent, averaging 10 points, 6 rebounds per game. New position for him, too. Last year, the 2-guard. This year, the 3-player in the front court.
Well, I think they wanted to play a la Willie Glass. He's not the leaper Willie is, but he's got the strength and perseverance to make things happen.
St. John's by a point. Just underway, first half, 18:15 to go. Ramos to Major for 2. Rebound, Bryant. And taken away by Marco Baldi. And the Redmen push it. Now St. John's controls.
That time Bryant showed the ball to the little guy, and Porter got his hands on there, and Baldi came up with a good matchup on defense is Baldi and Bryant.
Phil Harvey hitting on the baseline, and the Redmen lead at 6-3. Major to Bryant. Ramos knocked away by Brust, but a foul is called, and he is unhappy with the call, but Matt Brust is not usually happy about any foul.
That's for sure. What's interesting on defense, Jones is playing behind Ramos, and Brian Sauton's going to get the ball down low anytime that Jones is behind him.
Seton Hall playing it in. Each club with 2 team fouls. James Major to Mark Bryant. Morton in the paint. He spins, he hits. Pretty move by John Morton.
John Morton can do some things you really never expect him to do. That time I think the crowd thought it was a travel. It may have been, but it's a great move to the basket by Morton.
So many of these players on both teams have played against one another on the New York City playground. So when these 2 teams play each other, it's something special.
This is a street fight tonight, Bruce. They're really going at it.
Brust pass knocked away by Morton. Recaptured by Porter. Porter penetrates. And a rebound to Sally. Good outlet pass. John Morton on the baseline. Ramos runs it down. James Major with the ball. In the last 2 games, he's had only 7 points, but he's been bothered by a sprained ankle. "20 seconds on the shot clock. Good defense by Harvey. Bryant. Oh, a tough jump hook.
Terrific half a hook by Bryant that time. He's been so consistent all year for PJ. I tell you, they talk about him being a pro prospect. That was a pro move, Bruce.
7-6, Seton Hall by a point. Seton Hall and man, this is the way they like to play defense. Whistle before, steps in Shelton Jones. Tom, they started the season in man-to-man, but after a while, they got a little bit sloppy, and he's had to resort to some zone.
Well, I think he'd like to play this team man-to-man if he can stay with it. I think if they're not sticking at St. John's, well, he may see him fall back into the zone and just pack it inside, in particular against Shelton Jones.
Foul call away from the ball. Baldi and Bryant were pushing each other, and Baldi is called for the personal foul, and you're going to see a lot of pushing and shoving away from the ball. 15:51 to go in the first half of play. Seton Hall leads St. John's by a point, 7-6. Seton Hall up by a point. James Major calling a set play. Ramos to Sally. He penetrates and pulls up and hits. And Sally's shooting this year has been way down, only 39% from the field. Only 6 points per game, but if he scores, it adds another element to the Seton Hall attack.
No doubt about it. Against Syracuse, 11 rebounds, 11 points. That's probably one of his best outputs this year. But if he can get into the flow of the offense, they can be extremely tough.
Porter fires. He hits it. Michael Porter with a bucket. His first of the game. Back down court, Sally. And goaltending called on Brust. Ball was already off the backboard. No doubt about that call.
Seton Hall looking to push the ball up the floor. That time he certainly was demonstrated. Nice move to the basket, and goaltending was the call.
15:07, first half of play. Pirates by 3. Harvey looking for Jones. That's where he likes it. Backing in against Bryant. Harvey. He hits. just inside the three-point line, and it's 11-10 Seton Hall.
Louis Carnesecca said that he wants the guards to get involved in the offense. Well, Porter and Harvey are doing that tonight, Bruce.
Foul called away from the ball again, and again it's on the St. John's Redmen. It is getting rough underneath the boards.
They're really banging inside. The intensity of this game is certainly displayed by Marco that time, grabbing Mark Bryant by the head.
Did I touch him, Marco saying? Just a little. Major for three. Rebound Porter, who can get up. Porter spins to the front court.
Porter and Harvey, outstanding players. They've played together for a couple of years, Bruce. Some people, you know, they're young, they're junior college players, but they've played, they know each other very well, and that's been demonstrated how they've reacted tonight.
Harvey looking for the shot and hitting. So Harvey already with 3 field goals in the game, and St. John's recaptures the lead. Morton, nice move. Rebound, Jones.
Oh, outstanding rebound by Shelton Jones.
Harvey dishes to Brust, lays it in. 14-11 Redmen.
Harvey and Porter will make you run. That time, Matt Brust getting down the floor beautifully. Excellent pass to finish off the break.
St. John's on a run. Morton loses the ball to Brust. 2-on-1 with Harvey. He goes all the way, lays it in, and a foul. So St. John's has exploded, and they've done it by going to the fast break.
St. John's looking to push the ball up the floor. Here's a great strip inside. Brust takes the ball, goes the length of the floor, and I don't think Coach Carlissimo is too happy with the foul by Morton. Should have made sure, don't let him get to that hoop. That time he got to the basket and he was fouled.
Timeout on the court. The fans at Alumni Hall on their feet. St. John's leads by 5.
They're really moving the ball up the floor. Here's a great pass by Harvey to Brust. Finish it off. If St. John's starts running, they can cause people some problems. I think the unexpected of Louis Carnesecca came through again, Bruce.
And the Plymouth Player of the Game will be selected at the conclusion of this game and during every game televised by the Big East Conference Television Network as part of the Chrysler Corporation sponsorship of Big East basketball. Matt Brust converts the three-point play, and St. John's leads by 6.
Well, St. John's, after a timeout, likes to come back with their 1-3-1, and that's what they show right here.
Bryant, and he ends the run with a jumper in the paint.
Bryant makes them pay the price for changing that defense. Seton Hall found the open man. Bryant with a nice 7-foot jump shot.
Redmen by 4. Harvey looking for Jones. St. John's has lost to Villanova, Pittsburgh, and Kansas. Porter, who Carnesecca called in and told him, don't be afraid to take the shot as long as it's in the flow. Baldy. Jones with the rebound, and a foul is called underneath, and it's going to be an offensive foul against the Redmen.
Shelton Jones a little too active underneath, had decent position, but pushed off, got caught. Marco Baldi, on the other hand, has to stick that little baseline jump shot. Coach Carnesecca talked, we need a little more out of Marco.
That's right, Baldi with 4 points against Rutgers in the game before that. No points in 10 minutes against Pittsburgh. Gerald Green in the game. Morton on the baseline. He lays it in off the feed from the general, Gerald Green.
Excellent move by Morton. Morton on the fly is a great basketball player. Set him up a little bit, not as strong. That time he had some room. Fantastic move to the hoop.
12:20 to go in this first half. Only one sub so far, and that's Green of Seton Hall. Shelton Jones connecting from 16 feet with the jump shot.
Right now, all barrels are going. Shelton Jones stuck a nice jump shot there. They're executing well, St. John's. They're running the floor, and they're playing defense.
Bryant, he hits it. And Mark Bryant is showing us the touch in the lane. He's averaging 20 points per ball game, and he leads the club.
Seton Hall has stayed primarily man-to-man. They haven't showed any zone at all tonight. I think they know this game. There's active, there's enthusiasm. They don't want to lose that.
Foul called. Jones and Bryant tangled up inside. You know, they're second cousins, and they're going head-to-head tonight. Good matchup.
That's unbelievable. When you hit the floor, that relationship is gone because each one wants to go back to the neighborhood and say, hey, I took it to you, my friend.
5-team foul, St. John's. 4 on Seton Hall. Porter. Rebound, Morton, and Porter was over the back. So Michael Porter charged for the personal, and that is number 2 on Porter.
Interesting substitution here, putting Green in the game. PJ likes Green to settle his team down. Pookie Wigginton, on the other hand, kind of ignites his team.
Seton Hall 8 for 12 from the floor. St. John's 7 for 10. Both clubs shooting it really well. Sally blocked by Brust.
Great hands by Matt Brust that time. Really a tough defensive player. Sally and Brust matchup is tough.
Harvey leading the team in assists. Running the offense. Porter to Brust. Baldy getting free, and he lays it in. Beautiful feed.
Excellent pass by Matt Brust. Put the ball right where Marco had to take it to the hoop.
Brust, an underrated passer. Bryant is called for traveling. And Alander Lewis checks in for the Redmen of St. John's, replacing Michael Porter in the backcourt.
What I like about Boo Harvey right now, he's running his team. He's extremely cool. Very fine basketball player. He looks as if he's been in this gym all his life.
St. John's 21, Seton Hall 17, 10.5 to go, first half of play. Bryant with the steal. Harvey recaptures. Brust, he lays it in. St. John's by 6.
Bo Harvey finding the open man. Excellent dish off, an extremely unselfish basketball player.
Green, Ramos posting up. He is tucked down in the low block. And both clubs, Tom, just shooting the eyes out of the hoop.
They're really hot. Both teams playing pretty decent man-to-man defense, but just the skills of the individual is coming out right here. Bryant and Ramos playing very well for Seton Hall.
This is a half-court game right now, though. Is this to St. John's is like
This is the way St. John's likes to play. They like to execute. They like to take advantage of their strengths, in particular Shelton Jones. Brust really showing some passing skills. I like Bo Harvey. He really runs your club.
15 seconds on the shot clock. 9:30 in the first half. Lewis with 10 seconds on the shot clock. To Harvey for 2. Rebound to Brust and a brand new 45 for St. John's.
Marco Baldi did a nice job on that particular play. Almost looked like he pushed off, but he got his hands on the rock, got away with it.
Morton with the steal. He has Green. Gerald Green takes it up, and he gets the hoop and a foul. Tough move by the general from Brooklyn, New York, Westinghouse High School, known mostly for his passing and defense.
Darryl Green, outstanding steal here by Morton. Looks for the open man. Kind of a tricky pass right there, but here's great body control by Green to finish it off and go to the line. Here it is again. Great bounce pass in here. Nice body control. Green goes to the line to finish off a three-point play.
That bounce pass, so much easier to handle on the run, isn't it?
That's the key. Put the ball on the floor where the man can handle it.
So Green converts the three-point play. And Seton Hall is within 1, 23-22 Redmen.
Seton Hall, little soft man-to-man, extended a three-quarter court. St. John's been pushing it up. That'll kind of slow them down somewhat.
Alander Lewis to Matt Brust. Baldy being watched by Bryant now. Jones with a jump hook, and a foul is called. And Jones will go to the line for 2. Was that a matchup zone that Seton Hall was in the last time down?
It looked like a matchup zone. PJ said he would go to that occasionally. It's a 1-2-2 set, but they'll match to where the ball is. What I like about Shelton Jones this year is there's no fooling around. When he gets the ball down low, it's a strong power move to the basket. And as you can see, he's playing with the goggles right now. He was injured during the summer months, but he's a tough player.
Those goggles haven't fogged on him much this year.
That's for sure. He's been consistent. He's been the leader. He's a senior on the team. And I think when Louis lost Mark Jackson last year, he was concerned, but Shelton has risen.
Jason Williams, instant offense off the bench. 10 points per game, replacing Baldy. Jones missed the first, chance for a second here.
Jason Williams from Christ the King High School. He's grown about 3 inches in the past year.
And gained about 30 pounds. Jones hits the free throw. He has 5 in the game. St. John's by 2. Martin Sally. Hands to Morton. Ramos. Morton. Bryant. Spinning. Good defense by St. John's. Still loose in there. And finally, we have a foul called on Jason Williams. Pretty good collapsing defense by St. John's, but when Bryant got it a second time, he was able to draw the foul.
Well, the action is intimidating underneath there. No room for the meek. If you don't have it inside there, you better move yourself out. But they're really battling. Bryant, where he's tough, he can put the ball on the floor inside to improve his position.
Now checking into the game for Seton Hall, Michael Cooper, who had his best game of the year against Syracuse 2 games back. 13 points and 9 rebounds. He's a 6'5" sophomore. Bryant at the line 1-1. He has 6 points in the game. Well, nothing like a little bit of luck.
Caught the roll. That's what you need.
And these are tough rims to get the roll. On campus, they just call Mark Bryant 00. Unbelievable 2 free throws by Bryant.
Wow. Well, when it's going, it's going. Right now, Seton Hall picking up man-to-man pressure.
24-24, 8:18 to go, first half. Bruce Beck, Dom Perno with you from Alumni Hall on the campus of St. John's University.
Well, Seton Hall feels it. They're making a run right here. Their defense has been very good.
Bryant with the rebound off the Lewis miss. Green pushes it. Green, good controller in transition. Cooper, he gets the roll, so maybe the rims are favoring St. John's, but no, tonight they're favoring Seton Hall.
No doubt about it. Cooper coming in, great pass from Green. Green seems to have a settling factor for this team.
The Redmen are 37-2 here at Alumni Hall over the past 3.5 years. Bryant is called for the foul, and that is number 2 on Mark Bryant. And we have a timeout on the court. 26-24, Seton Hall with the lead. We'll be back after these messages from your local state. Another day against the Wildcats of Villanova, and the other one against Syracuse.
2 pretty good teams, Bruce, but the Redmen are very, very tough in this facility. What are they? 244 and 63 overall.
Something close to that. It doesn't really matter. Foul called. It's a reach. It's on Cooper. Jason Williams will go to the line.
Cooper just manhandled Jason Williams under there.
1-1 for Williams. Seton Hall leading by a bucket. 7.5 to go, first half. Both clubs really shooting it well. St. John's 10 for 16, 62%. Seton Hall 11 for 17, 65%. Bryant is back in, replacing Sally. So Seton Hall going with Green and Morton in the backcourt, Ramos, Cooper, and Bryant up front. St. John's going with Shelton Jones, Brust, and Jason Williams up front, and Lewis and Boo Harvey in the backcourt.
Now, what's interesting, Majors has been on the bench for quite a while. Here's a 1-3-1 zone by St. John's.
Morton penetrates. Loose ball. Ramos blocked by Williams, picked up by Morton, who puts it in.
Excellent rebound by Morton inside there. What you like about him, he's 6'3", he can go to the boards.
He's a
very
slasher.
tough. Oh, he really is.
Seton Hall by a bucket.
Here's the matchup zone by Seton Hall. P.J. may feel right now a little change could be effective for him.
Alander Lewis, who can shoot it from three-point land. St. John's has only made 5, though, on the season from there. Williams. Air ball.
Nice positioning inside by Seton Hall in their matchup zone.
Green to Ramos. Bryant posting up. Jones with the rebound. Now Harvey pushes it for the Redmen. Who pulls up? And the rebound to Ramos.
Well, that time we saw Boo Harvey pushing the ball up the floor. Louis likes it if it's going, but he wants a good shot if he can get it.
Seton Hall with the basketball and a 2-point lead. Pirates have lost 3 of their last 4 after a super start. And we have a foul called against Brust. He was banging with Cooper underneath. And Brust ticketed with his second personal. And it's 1-1 for Seton Hall.
Brust and Cooper really going at it. 2 strong players about the same size. Well, matter of fact, I think they called it on Cooper. Here it is right here. We take a look here. A double foul right here. Look at it. Oh, there's Brust pushing off. And it came back, and it looked as if it may have been on Cooper, but St. John's gets it back on the double foul call because the arrow was pointing that way.
6 minutes to go. St. John's down by 2. Harvey to Lewis for 3. And the rebound to Ramos. Here's Gerald Green. Ramos dishes to Bryant. They're all over Bryant, and he is fouled. Tom, they're double teaming him when he gets the ball down low on the block.
Well, I tell you, what he's going to have to do is find the open man if they're double teaming him. But Ramos is doing such a great job. Ramos is doing such a great job of getting the ball down low. Right here, you can see it. The pass is away from the defense. Bryant has the capabilities of putting the ball on the floor, which he demonstrated there. That's how he's losing that double team.
Is that a force?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got enough confidence in that escape dribble. And I tell you, he's playing well. He's confident. He feels good about his game. I think he's going to take it right now because he knows it's going for him.
Bryant at the line for 2. He was the MVP of the Cable Car Classic. Had 31 points in the final against Santa Clara, although they lost. And here's Sally back in, replacing Cooper for the Pirates. Mark Bryant's never beaten St. John's while he was at Seton Hall. Nor has James Major or Martin Sally, and you can better believe they'd like to do it this year.
Oh, they could feel it. Seton Hall, after the foul shots, just giving soft pressure. They just want to keep the ball in front of them. There's not a lot of traps going on, but they don't want Boo Harvey to push it up too quickly.
9 for Bryant, 29-26. Seton Hall with the lead by 3.
Seton Hall now back in their matchup. They've had some pretty good success. St. John's not getting the good opportunity down low they were with Shelton Jones
in the early going, right. And St. John's ran well, but it was only in one real spurt. Alander Lewis penetrates on Green. Taken away by Morton. Morton with Bryant. Morton pulls up, and a foul is called on Harvey.
John Morton, long arms to pick off that steal, under control going down the floor. PJ has to feel good that Morton stopped on the foul line, pulled up for the jump shot, and was fouled.
PJ Carlesimo, whose club last year improved to 15-14.
PJ right now, he said earlier, Bruce, that his team believes they could beat anyone in this conference, and I think on a given night they certainly can. With Bryant, a mainstay inside, Morton playing as well as he has at the guard spot, I think that's key. When he's been erratic, that's caused them a problem.
Morton hits the first free throw. Now Darrell Walker reports for the first time, 6'8" junior, All Hallows High School in New York City, and Bryant heads to the bench. Seton Hall lost their last game at Boston College. They played very poorly. They lost 85-70. But one thing about the Pirates, you can throw out their game before because they usually do play quite differently. And that's either positive or negative.
Exactly. I think it doesn't make any difference what they did yesterday because they come right back. Here's some nice pressure by Seton Hall.
And a foul is called, a blocking foul on Darrell Walker. So Seton Hall has very quietly opened up a 5-point lead, but 1-1 time now for the St. John's Redmen. Here's the offensive foul call, Dom.
Okay, right here you can see Porter just didn't get over there. Darrell Walker didn't get over there quick enough to the position where he should have been in. Upon the ball going to the right side of the floor, Bruce, he's got to adjust. That time he stood there, got there too late and caused the foul.
He's got to give one full step, right?
Exactly. You got to move with the basketball when you're applying that kind of pressure.
So Lewis hits the first free throw. Alander Lewis from Albany, New York. Says his mom is watching tonight on WWOR-TV. And he hits the free throw. Steve Sharina checks into the ball game, replacing Alander Lewis. St. John's has cut the lead to 3 at the 4:55 mark of the first half.
St. John's going into a 2-3 zone right here. Louis likes the man-to-man, but has shown some zone.
Green to Morton. Sally, wide open Green. Rebound Ramos. Walker, and that's got to be traveling. He took a boat to St. Louis in that one.
He took off right then and there. I think Darrell's a little anxious, wants to get started a little too quickly.
So St. John's with a chance now to cut the lead.
Well, St. John's zone is effective, in particular when Majors is out of the game.
James Major is on the bench with no points.
Well, both teams started the game man-to-man. Right now, both teams are playing zone D.
Harvey to Brust. Matt Brust penetrates. And he hits it. An off-balance runner.
Matt Brust from Babylon High School makes things happen, both offensively and defensively.
11 for Matt Brust. Here's Walker. Triple team. Steal by Shelton Jones. St. John's down a point with 3:50 to go in the first half.
St. John's collapsing down with their 2-3 zone has proved to be effective. St. John's used their hands very well defensively to flick the ball away. They don't get called for too many fouls, and they're very aggressive tonight.
Harvey to Sharina. Now Steve Sharina directs traffic. Looks for Jones. 20 seconds on the shot clock.
This is what Louis likes to do. Grind it down. Looks for the good one.
And he got one there from Boo Harvey.
Boo Harvey showed he can not only handle the rock, but he can stick it.
St. John's by 1. 3:15 to go in the first half. The Redmen have scored 6 straight points after being down by 5.
Well, the zone defense is throwing Seton Hall out of whack somewhat.
Morton, pretty move. And he is fouled, and that's what he does best. Slices, slashes. He's like an eel the way he just
really
gets in
is.
there.
He's got great body control. When he's on the move, he's very, very effective.
Second foul on Jason Williams as you look at the bearded wonder, P.J. Carlesimo. And Luke Carna second in his 20th year at St. John's, and the record speaks for itself.
Louis, unbelievable. We were talking earlier, Bruce, 15 times he's won 20 or more games. That's remarkable.
Morton for 2 shots.
Moore, an extremely effective player. You watch him right here. He's got great body control going to the basket. He draws the defender, doesn't release it until he gets fouled.
The biggest improvement in his game this year, 53% from the field. Last year, 45%. As a freshman, much worse than that. His shot selection has been better. So Morton buries the free throws, and Seton Hall recaptures the lead. Seesaw first half. 33-32. Seton Hall to half significantly. Tonight, a different story. St. John's down by 1 point to Seton Hall. St. John's with the basketball, 2:55 to go. First half of play. Bruce Beck, Dom Perno at Alumni Hall, home of the St. John's Redmen.
Seton Hall picking up the press, picking them up full, letting them work all the time. And here's their defense. Calls the turnover.
So Steve Sharina called for the double dribble. Seton Hall with the basketball.
Louis not happy with that. He wanted to execute, move the ball, get it going. They're only down 1.
James Major back in the game for Seton Hall. Ramos. Rebound, Matt Brust, who's had an excellent first half.
Brust hitting the ball, hitting the boards extremely well. Good positioning. That time Ramos inside his man, should have had it.
Bill Harvey to Steve Sharina. And a takeaway by Morton. Morton to the front court. What a play and a foul called. He took off about 8 feet from the hoop and jammed it home.
John Morton. Great hands by Morton all evenings here. All evening. Once again, scoops it away, leaves the floor about the foul line and slams one through and gets fouled and completes it. Here he is again. You know all the time that this young man is going right to the basket.
Morton with 12 points in this first half to lead all scorers. And he connects at the line. And he is playing with confidence.
He's feeling it right now. That blood is flowing. He's got those hands active. He's playing both ends of the floor.
2 minutes to go. First half, 4-point lead for Seton Hall. Another steal by Morton. He has Major. He dishes to Sally, who slams it home. Morton is doing it all for Seton Hall, and St. John's will take a time.
Big league play by John Morton. A dish off to Sally. Great dunk, Louis Carnesecca. Good timeout.
36-32, now 38-32. As they explode, do the Pirates with 7 straight points. John Morton with the dish off after another fine steal.
John Morton defensively has been all over the floor tonight. And here's where he's exemplifying unselfishness that maybe in the past he might have wanted to go to the hoop himself. This time, dish to Sally for a great dunk.
And you saw at the freeze there were 4 players that were already down court. You had Sally, you had Bryant, the big guy, Morton and Major. Now that means you're filling the lanes pretty good.
They're getting down the floor. I think Seton Hall right now, Bruce, feels it. They know they got St. John's down somewhat. Morton playing an outstanding basketball game. I don't think I've seen him play better. Both ends of the floor. Defensively, he's doing it. He's active. He's slicing. He's causing all kinds of problems for the Redmen.
1:52 to go in the first half. And Seton Hall has opened up a 6-point lead. St. John's a little bit shaky right now, a little bit uncertain as to what they're trying to do.
Seton Hall using it's just a passive tight pressure, but it's causing St. John's some problems.
Boo Harvey. Rebound Brust. Rebound Jason Williams, and he tips it in.
Big tip over the back of about 3 players. Jason Williams has come in the game, and he makes you know he's there.
Seton Hall's lead cut to 4. Major. Good defense, Sharina. Time remaining in the first half, as you can see. Sally penetrates. Rebound, Jason Williams, as he's working both boards.
Well, Louis wants his team to slow it up, get it going. There's 53 seconds left. Wants to make sure he goes out either down 2 or 4, no more.
Shot clock at 27. Harvey to Brust. Jones. Foul called. Shelton Jones extending the left hand, and he'll go to the line for 2. It's on Ramon Ramos.
What's been interesting during the Seton Hall spurt, this young man, number 31, hasn't been in the flow of the O, it looks like. I think you have to get him back into it. He's your money guy. That time St. John's looked to him, he went to the basket and was fouled.
He had his 5 points real early in this game.
Yep.
Second foul on Ramos. No one in this ball game has 3, as Darrell Walker comes in replacing Ramos for Seton Hall. 2 fouls for Mark Bryant and Ramon Ramos for Seton Hall, and for St. John's, Jones, Brust, Baldy, Porter, and Williams all have 2.
Well, I'll tell you what we talked about earlier in the broadcast, Bruce. Seton Hall has depth. They've got people with some experience that can come off the floor off the bench for him, and he's been demonstrating that. He's taken his key people out, giving them a blow, and the other people have been effective for him.
Shelton Jones hits the pair, and with 30 seconds to go in the first half, it's a 2-point lead for Seton Hall.
St. John's playing man-to-man. Now, Seton Hall runs this. It's like a little stall. It's for the last shot of the game.
Last year, St. John's won by 3 here at Alumni Hall. They won by 3 at the Meadowlands Arena in 2 real nip-and-tuck ball games. Morton penetrates. He hits. James Major. And he threw it out of bounds. So the Pirates starting with the same club that opened the game. Major, Morton, backcourt, Sally, Bryant, Ramos up front. And St. John's also starting with their same lineup with Boo Harvey and Michael Porter in the backcourt. Baldy up front with Brust and Jones.
Major sat out quite a bit. It'll be interesting to see how he reacts. It comes back in the second half.
Porter to Brust. Back outside to Boo Harvey. High individual point man of the game. Morton with 15 points, 5 for 7 from the field, 5 for 5 from the line, and Matt Brust with 11 points for St. John's. Shelton Jones. He goes glass for 2, and that's his spot.
Well, we were saying earlier that Shelton Jones has to get into the action. That time they got the ball down low. Excellent. Kiss off the board.
Sally blocked by Brust. Picked off by Mark Bryant. Brust with 4 rebounds and 11 points in that first half. He did everything.
Did an outstanding job. Great pass.
Yeah, down low, and Sally snuck in there, and there's Mark Bryant showing you another dimension.
Well, I think you have to play him because he could put the ball on the floor. That time he found Sally underneath. Finished it off well.
Porter played only 9 minutes in the first half. Baldy to Porter. He's free. He fired. Rebound Ramos. Major holds up. Morton cuts, and again Bryant with his second straight assist.
Michael Porter lost John Morton that time. He cut to the basket. No one guarding him. Unmolested layup.
When you're a dangerous scoring threat, you can look for other things.
Certainly can. Harvey doing a good job on Majors. That's probably why he's been quiet in the first half, in particular from the 3-point range.
Harvey trying to call a set play. St. John's trails by 6.
Seton Hall playing aggressive man-to-man right here.
Jones,
St. John's.
He sneaks in there. Shelton Jones gets the bucket.
Once again to their bread and butter, Jones inside.
Jones with both field goals for St. John's here in the second half. Bryant. And an offensive foul, let's see. No, it's going to be called on Marco Baldi. Bryant pushed off, I think it was after the other contact. And that is number 3 on Marco. Let's watch this closely.
Here's the pass inside to Bryant. Bryant, definitely a push off by Baldi. Where Bryant is extremely effective, he could put the ball on the floor.
Morton, fall away. Rebound, Jones, one-handed rebound. Ahead to Harvey. He penetrates. Rebound, Brust. And it's tipped in by Michael Porter, the 6'1 guard who has unlimited jumping ability.
That was exemplified that time. He was over all those 6'9 people.
There's a 3-pointer for James Major, first 3-pointer of the ball game.
Everyone
and the
waiting.
lead back to 5.
Everybody waiting for Majors to do it. If he gets some time, he can stick it.
Harvey directing traffic. Baldi. Porter. He hits. So Porter coming alive offensively. Morton streaks the other way, and he loses the ball, but a reach-in is called on Boo Harvey, and Morton is trying to convince Joe Mingle that he should get a 2-shot foul. So Carlesimo warmed up, took the jacket off. He's ready to go for the second half of play.
And while he said that, his sweater is the second half of the game. The first half he'll have the jacket on.
Bryant backs in, loses the ball. Here's Porter. Porter streaking, and now backing it out. Porter pulls up. 3 in a row for Michael Porter. And it's a 1-point lead for Seton Hall.
Michael Porter on fire. He really can get up on his jump shot that time in Seton Hall end. Bryant trying to do a little too much.
Major for 3. Throws up a rainbow. Rebound Ramos. Lays it in. 49-46. Seton Hall 15:50 to go in the ball game.
Marco Baldi has to box out Ramos. Ramos and Bryant, I think, getting the better of St. John's big people.
Harvey to Porter. Jones being guarded by Ramos. Porter cuts free. Rebound Ramos. So Michael Porter looking for his shot. Seton Hall by 3. Bryant. And there's that little half jump hook again.
Outstanding move. Playing behind Bryant is not a good way to play the D. He's really tough. He's got the half a hook. Very effective player.
51-46, Seton Hall. And Boo Harvey throws it away. And Luke Carnesecca ends up with the basketball, and I don't think he's pleased about that. So Seton Hall repels the rally. They lead by 5. The Big East Conference that is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Big East Conference is prohibited. Bruce Beck, Don Perno, Alumni Hall, Jamaica, New York. St. John's trailing Seton Hall by 5 points here in the second half. Morton leads for Bryant. Brust takes it away. Here's Harvey in transition.
Great defensive effort by Matt Brust. All over the floor.
Jones. He hits.
Sean Jones has become the answer man for St. John's tonight. When they needed a hoop, they go to him, and he's delivered.
13 points for Jones. Major. Out to Morton. Baldi doing a good job fronting Bryant. Ramos. And a foul is called. Nope, a kickball. And we will get a fresh 45-second clock. Seton Hall will keep it.
Seton Hall, good execution in their offense. They're trying to get Bryant down low. Marco Baldi doing a better job defensively now on Bryant.
Wow, look at that. John Morton doing it tonight. Rebound Brust, who also is doing it on the boards and on the scoring column. He has 11. Brust to Porter. Baldi back to Porter. Blocked by Morton. Baldi takes it down. And a foul is called, and Marco Baldi showing some mobility will go to the line for 2.
Marco Baldi reacted extremely well for a big guy that time. Block shot on Porter's J. He comes down with a great effort, goes to the hoop, and is fouled.
Carlesimo's defense has been good tonight, his club. Marco Baldi, the 3rd St. John's player from Long Island Lutheran High School. The first 2 are pretty good ones, Wayne McCoy and Bill Wennington.
Bill Wennington.
Baldi throws up a brick.
Bill Wennington at Dallas right now.
This is the same rim, Dom, that Seton Hall had the good bounces earlier.
I know. Well, that's no question that time. Marco Baldi.
Maybe it's the rotation of the ball.
That could be it.
51-49, Seton Hall. 13:50 to go. Second half.
St. John's in the 1-3-1 zone here.
Morton penetrates. Ramos, who's a very good passer. When he gets it up high, he looks first for Bryant and then anyone else.
This defense just to change the tempo. Seton Hall has moved well against the man.
Sally penetrates. Loose ball. Sally is there against Jones. Still loose. 3 opportunities. And an offensive interference call. Let's see. No basket. Somebody held onto the rim or was in the cylinder when the ball was there.
3 efforts right there. Let's take a good look at this. Here's Sally penetrating to the basket strong. Looks as if it's going to go in. No, another tip up. Here's Sally again over, and here's the goaltending call. I think it was a good call, Bruce.
Ball was still in the rim?
Yes, it looked that way.
Harvey fires. Ramos was the guy that was up there and called for the offensive interference off St. John's. Seton Hall basketball. St. John's only getting one shot, though.
That's all. Ramos and Bryant have done a very good job inside on the boards.
Morton to Ramos. And a foul called, a holding foul underneath. And it's Marco Baldi. And that is number 4.
Marco not happy with that one there as he walks off the floor, and Jason Williams comes in. Bryant and Baldi battling it out inside, and I think Marco's saying, hey, call them both ways, ref.
So Seton Hall will inbound. 13 foul in St. John's. Seton Hall has committed just 1. Major. Bryant. Bryant still with the ball. And a foul is called. It's a reach on St. John's. And Harvey comes away holding his left eye.
Harvey got popped in the eye by one of Mark Bryant's elbows that time.
So Harvey holding up his T-shirt to his eye and headed to the St. John's bench for a little bit of care. Ronnie Linfanti, the trainer, looking at Boo Harvey. And Lou Carnesecca is talking about the elbow that he doesn't feel was called.
Louis will give him a piece of his mind, I'm sure. He did swing that time. He's got to get Harvey either back in the game here or he's going to have a timeout.
And there is a timeout called by St. John's. Seton Hall leads by a deuce. And we'll be back after these messages.
Look at him right here. Bryant trying to find the open man. Swings. I don't know if he got him with an elbow, Bruce. I think his arm was just flailing there. Of course, Louis Carnesecca didn't see it that way. But here's Bryant once again with that escape dribble. And he's fouled.
Harvey comes away with the eye bothering him, goes to the bench, is back on the floor with a little bit of tape. You know, they put something called Avaltine above the left eye of boxers when they bleed. I don't think it's that serious, do you?
I don't think it is. I think he's ready.
Mark Bryant. He hits the first free throw. 12 points in the game for Bryant.
Bryant's playing so aggressively. The fans can see it. They can feel it. You know, he feels so good about himself. Now, he doesn't care what anyone thinks. He knows he's capable of doing and playing well.
Well, his first couple of years in the league, he was going up against guys like Winnington and Ewing, and he took his share of punishment. Now he says he wants to dish it out.
He's getting back. It's payback time for Mark Bryant.
53-49, Seton Hall with the lead. 12:55 to go, second half.
Soft pressure by Seton Hall. Just enough to keep St. John's guessing.
Harvey looking for Jones. Takes it himself. Beautiful move by the Boo.
Outstanding move by Boo Harvey to the basket. He's got one of the quickest first steps that I've seen all year.
2-point lead. Seton Hall. Salad against Brust. And Brust takes it away. And pumps the fist. Harvey leads underneath to Jones. He hits. We're tied at 53.
Can't fall asleep on St. John's, in particular with Boo Harvey. He finds the open man, and the best guy to find is Shelton Jones.
Bryant. He hits. And Bryant silences the fans.
Bryant right back, finishes it off. Strong move. Has exemplified why he's a second-team All-Big East performer as selected by the coaches earlier in the year.
15 for Bryant. And St. John's exhausting so much energy in trying to stop him.
I think it's time for John Morton to unravel a little bit. He's been somewhat quiet this half.
Porter outside to Harvey. Shot clock goes to 15. Brust drives to Jason Williams. Back to Harvey. Shot clock at 8. Here's Jones. He drives. And we have a foul called on Michael Porter. And Louis Carnesecca almost went into the first row.
Louis can't believe it. He was down at the other end of the bench. You better watch him out. Here's a great move. Great pump fake by Shelton Jones. Misses the hoop. Both are fighting after the ball. However, it's a jump ball. I didn't see the foul on Porter.
They called the reach as he came along the baseline. Seton Hall with the basketball. Second half, 5 team fouls St. John's. Only 1 on Seton Hall with 11:08 to go. That could be a factor.
Definitely can be. This game seems as if it's going to go right down to the wire, Bruce.
The biggest lead has been 6 for each club. Sally off the cut. Loses the ball to Williams. Porter has Harvey ahead of him. Who goes up and lays it in? And we're tied at 55.
Great pass, great hands inside to start the play on defense. St. John's now showing their 1-3-1 zone. They feel good about this, in particular when they make a little spurt.
And a steal by Porter. Watch out, he can jump. A monster jam by Porter.
Michael Porter has the crowd at Alumni Hall going crazy right here.
So there's a timeout on the court. St. John's has roared back. They lead by 2, and Michael Porter with the slam. We'll be back after these messages from your local stations. And it's been defense that has really triggered the club.
Well, their hands inside. They're pecking away at every loose ball. That time, the 1-3-1 zone made Michael Porter become effective there outside, picking off that rock, going in for a slam dunk that could ignite this St. John's team right now. You know they have the crowd going crazy.
Seton Hall with the basketball as John Morton brings it across. He's been quiet with only 2 points in the second half after 15 in the first half. Morton penetrates. And we have a whistle and a foul called on the penetration against Boo Harvey. And that is number 3 on Harvey.
Well, against that 1-3-1, there are gaps. John Morton catches a gap. He's like an eel. He could slide through anything. The thing is, when Morton does penetrate against the zone, if you stand, the back man can pick up the charge if he holds his ground.
Gerald Green and Michael Cooper report for Seton Hall. Major and Sally head to the bench. Bryant. Rebound Brust.
Matt Brust has been all over the backboards tonight. Outstanding rebounding. He gives everything he has all the time.
Jones. He hit.
Big basket by Shelton Jones. 15-foot baseline jump shot. He's got it going right now.
Morton missing. Cooper with a good rebound and hands to Green.
Big play right there because the San Jacinto boys are right out there ready to push it up the floor.
St. John's with their biggest lead in the second half, 4 points.
St. John's back in a 2-3 zone.
Green. Morton. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Pirates looking for a bucket to quiet the St. John's crowd, and that is going to be an offensive foul on Mark Bryant. Well, he threw the elbow there.
The crowd was yelling for it in the first half, first part of the half against Harvey, and here it is right here. Yes, definitely an elbow by that young man. The referee right on the spot picks it up, and Seton Hall has to watch out that St. John's just doesn't get a roll right here.
Well, Brust definitely was nagging him and bothering him. It might have been pushing him a little bit, but the elbow was obvious there.
Well, St. John's doing a nice job of changing their defense. They went to man, the 1-3-1, now to a 2-3.
Brust, down low, Jones. Jones double pumps to Brust. Loose ball out of bounds, and St. John's will keep possession.
Well, Mr. Mo has taken its effect on this game right now. Seton Hall had it, but St. John's got it going right now. And Shelton Jones and Brust, 2 people that are playing with unbelievable intimidation powers right now.
Porter to Jason Williams. Rebound Harvey. Harvey. St. John's looking to reset.
Louis Carnesecca tells them, push it out, fellas. You're doing a great job on second effort. Let's get a good one.
8:30 to go. St. John's by 4. Jones turns. And a whistle. Jason Williams came roaring over the top, and I believe he's been whistled for the foul.
Well, Jason Williams over over everybody. Great job. Here's the pass inside right here to Jones. Good effort right here. Nice pump fake. Up strong. Could have finished it off, and there's no doubt that Jason Williams was jumping over everyone's back that time. He's got great leaping ability, that young man.
Third foul on Jason Williams. St. John's is over the limit with 8:20 to play. Seton Hall only has 2 team fouls.
That could be a big factor in this contest right now, in particular if Seton Hall starts making the foul shots.
And both these clubs, good free throw shooting teams at 74%. Butler leads the country at 83%, which is unbelievable. Ramos misses the front end of the 1-1.
Well, every time you say it's going to go, that's when it doesn't. Ramos failed to pick it up. St. John's comes away with the ball again.
That could be a big factor as we go down the last 4 minutes or so. It's 8 minutes to go right now. And Porter hits it off balance jumper.
Good defensive positioning on Porter, but he skies so high he can get the shot off on anybody.
St. John's matching their biggest lead of the night, 6 points. Morton, side jump. And a foul is called on Cooper over the top. So St. John's getting their crowd behind them. They are so tough here at Alumni Hall, a facility that really gets the fans into the action close to the court.
Well, it's certainly a factor coming in. I asked PJ about that. He said, well, in all of the other places you're playing in larger arenas, the Hartford Civic Center, the Capitol Center, Madison Square Garden, well, when you're in Alumni Hall, it's St. John's.
And Matt Brust calling a timeout. It was almost a 5-second violation, but Brust called for time. 7:46 to go. 61-55 in favor of St. John's. 6 points, the biggest lead for either club. I'm Bruce Beck, along with me, Dom Perno. And Dom, St. John's and Matt Brust really taking over here in the last 6 minutes.
Well, Matt Brust has done it all evening from start to right now. We're at 7:46. He's been extremely active. He boxes out very well. He's had his hands in on defense. He's passed well. He's playing the whole game. He could be the MVP of this contest.
Seton Hall needs someone to take charge now and get a couple buckets.
They really do. They need a leader. Morton was doing it for them in the first half. He's out of the game right now.
Brust to Boo Harvey. St. John's with a 6-point lead. 7.5 to play. And here's Gerald Green with the steal. Porter chases him. Nice play, but he misses the layup. Rebound, Bryant. Good effort by Mark Bryant following down the court.
Great second effort by Mark Bryant. That's where maybe you wouldn't see Mark Bryant get down the floor the way he did that time. That time he followed it up, finished it off. Big hoop for Seton Hall.
St. John's keeps possession on the inbound play. Sally replaces Cooper for the Pirates.
Green goes in the game to stabilize PJ's team. He's done that so far.
Michael Porter to Boo Harvey. Harvey has directed the attack well tonight. He has 12 points. Porter has 12 for St. John's. Jones leads the way with 17. Brust with 11. Brust fires. And the long rebound to Bryant.
Well, I'm sure that was not the shot Lou Carnesecca wants.
Porter called for a foul. And it's 1-1 for Gerald Green.
This is where that foul trouble can't take its effect.
That is 4 on Porter. So Porter has 4. Baldy has 4 for St. John's. And Mark Bryant, 3. Michael Cooper, 3 for Seton Hall.
Well, that could be the difference in this ball game right now. St. John's is in foul trouble with a couple of key people. Seton Hall is not. Seton Hall is going to the foul line. They're over the mark now. St. John's could be very detrimental to the Redmen.
1-1 for Green as Lewis replaces Porter for St. John's. Green 83% for the line, buries the first.
Well, they're all good foul shooters for Seton Hall. They go to that line, they're tough.
Green, who played for the Big East All-Stars this summer in Australia. PJ Carlesimo coached that club. Bryant keeps it alive, but Alander Lewis has the rebound.
Shelton Jones, hands going all the time, tipped that ball to Alander Lewis. That's excellent, even though Bryant had the inside position.
6.5 to go. St. John's by 3. Harvey to Brust. Jones against Ramos. He faces. He pumps. Brust with the offensive board.
Matt Brust with an authoritative rebound, to say the least, that time. He's playing an extraordinary game.
8 rebounds for Brust. Harvey penetrates. Lewis got it.
Well, Orlando Lewis did it for St. John's against Kansas. Coming in right here, Porter has 4 fouls, certainly picking up the slack.
Green to Ramos. He turns, and he is fouled by Jason Williams. So it will be a 2-shot opportunity for Ramon Ramos. Both coaches are going to lose some weight in the sidelines tonight. Don't forget, we'll be selecting the Plymouth Player of the Game, which will be selected at the conclusion of this ball game and during every game televised by the Big East Conference Television Network as part of the Chrysler Corporation sponsorship of Big East basketball. Ramos hits the first. Ramos 90% from the line. Williams was called for the foul. That was his 4th.
Great rebound by Shelton Jones that time. Williams has 4 fouls. With Brust out of action now, can't have their big people getting any more foul trouble.
5:30 to go. St. John's by 4. And a reaching foul is called on Green. Only the 4th team foul on Seton Hall, and St. John's will inbound from side court. The Redmen well over the limit.
Seton Hall now playing active man-to-man defense. St. John's right here is going to turn the ball over as often as they have to get a good one.
St. John's has committed 22 fouls in the game. Seton Hall 15. Lewis back to Harvey. Harvey penetrates. He hits.
Great move by Boo Harvey that time. One dribble, pulled up. These guys pretty well. Forget Michael Porter. He gets off the ground also.
6-point St. John's lead. Inside of 5 minutes to play in the ball game.
St. John's now going to a 2-3 zone. Major's out of the contest. You can collapse it in, keep it tight, protect the inside.
Bryant shot is short. Brust loses the ball out of bounds, and Seton Hall will keep it. I think we'll see James Major as he comes back in.
Well, if they're going to play that 2-3 zone, PJ knows he's got to have the outside man that can stick it.
So he replaces Green, and Morton and Major form the backcourt for the Pirates. Seton Hall needs a bucket. Major for 3. Short. Lewis rebound.
Not a good shot, Bruce. A little bit too quick. He's certainly in his range, but he's got to get better.
Major knocks it away. It's recovered by Jason Williams. Executed play with Jones, the recipient.
Didn't we open the telecast with that pass? Great
pass.
That was the
same one.
Wow.
8-point lead, biggest of the night for St. John's. Bryant answers in a clutch situation with a jab.
What a ball game this is tonight. Shelton Jones doing it at one end of the floor, Mark Bryant at the other.
19 for Bryant, and the Pirates battle back to 6. Lewis to Harvey. Inside of 4 minutes to play. Jones posting up. He hits. 21 for Shelton Jones.
That hoop was worth the price of admission.
Morton all the way back. And there's Sally with the follow, so St. John's not blocking out. Seton Hall continuing to work on the offensive boards, and they're staying in the game by doing so.
There's some good athletes on this floor right here, Bruce. Great move by Shelton Jones at one end of the floor. Martin Sally comes right back with a dunk.
Porter and Baldy are back in for St. John's, replacing Lewis and Williams. And now Michael Cooper reports for Seton Hall. And he'll replace Ramos. 3:22 to play. St. John's 69, Seton Hall 63.
Seton Hall picking up full court right here.
Brust Holds up. Back to Jones. Now St. John's can eat some clock.
Oh, yeah, they're going to take their time. They're going to run a good one. They're going to look for the big guy down low, Shelton Jones, if he's available.
Porter to Harvey. Harvey penetrates. Dishes to Jones. Fall away. Rebound Bryant. Here's Morton. He penetrates. Knocked away. No whistle. Sally. Sally again. He hits. Pirates remain close. It's a 4-point game.
People are complaining because they thought John Morton had traveled. I thought he did. If not, he may have charged.
Harvey to Porter. He skies and he is fouled by Sally. And that is just good effort on the part of both teams as Sally pats him on the rear. Intensity in this game. Unbelievable.
From start to finish, these two teams have been playing with unbelievable aggressiveness, intensity. The physical aspect of this game is unreal.
But it's been clean.
It has been. Just good, hard, tough basketball. Most of these guys, as you mentioned, have played together in the playground, Bruce. And it's just carrying over the floor right now.
So the foul on Seton Hall. It's on Sally, his third, and Michael Porter at the line for 2. He has 12 points in the game.
These foul shots are all big when they come down to the wire right here. St. John's working to get a good one. When they get to the line, they have to finish it.
Ooh, Porter misses them both. Seton Hall can cut it to 2 with 2:30 to play. Morton. Sally to Ramos. He turns. Major for 3. Got it! It's a 1-point game. 69-68. St. John's.
Well, James Major's placed back in the game for that 3-point shot, and he delivers.
He made only 1 3-pointer against Syracuse. That one was very late in the game. 2 minutes to go. St. John's by 1. Porter. Shelton Jones back to Porter. Shot clock to 15 seconds. Game clock a minute 40. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Jones to Brust. Porter follows it in.
Nobody boxing out. Michael Porter goes over everyone's back to maybe make the most crucial hoop of the game.
A minute 20 to play. St. John's by 3. Major for 3. Rebound Baldy.
Marco Baldy, not many rebounds tonight, but that was a big one.
Michael Porter turned what could have been just an air ball into a big hoop. Major fouls Harvey. It is not 1-1. It is St. John's ball at side court. That is the 6th team foul. No intentional foul called, much to the dismay of Lou Carnesecca.
Yeah, Louis was calling it. He wanted to see those arms go up in that X fashion to call that intentional foul.
Next foul is over the limit. And you can see the turnaround in backcourt play in the second half as Boo Harvey and Michael Porter have come alive. They each have 14 for the game.
Well, Morton and Majors have been quiet the second half, and you maybe have to attribute that to the changing defenses Louis has employed.
Baldy is fouled from behind with 59 seconds to play. It's on Ramos, his third, and Marco Baldy at the strike. 76% free throw shooter, 1-1.
Well, if you look back in the game last year, Marco against Wichita State, big game for him. Here he's come back with 4 fouls, key rebound, now goes to the line. If he can make these 2, Bruce, puts St. John's up 5 with 59 seconds, it'll be tough to catch them.
Major replaces Green, Baldy at the line. 3 points in the game. And he misses the front end of the 1-1.
Marco grimaces because he knows those were important foul shots.
Watch Major, the 3-point threat. Sally penetrates to Major. He shoots. He hits. 2-point field goal. Timeout, Seton Hall. 42 seconds to play, and St. John's leads by 1. The closing 42 ticks when we come back to Alumni Hall in a moment.
We're doing a demo down at the ABC for a guy. Data processing, voice, graphics, and VOing PBX. It's talking to his own IBM mainframe through RVS. And the deck
New York, 42 seconds left in the game. St. John's 71, Seton Hall 70. And it's been close throughout.
What a basketball game this has been. I'll tell you, start to finish. Right now, Seton Hall is picking up the pressure. Four-man denial out front. They got Sally back protecting the hoop.
Porter gets the inbound pass, and he is fouled immediately by Gerald Green. Remember, Porter missed the front end, and then he just missed 2 free throws in a 2-shot situation. Here's a look at the players we talked about at the beginning of the program. Morton with 17, but 15 in the first half. Major always a threat down the stretch. And for St. John's, Jones has done what he's had to do in the backcourt of Porter and Harvey have done their share in the second half.
Well, I think Louis has to feel pleased with coming into this game. He wanted more scoring from his guards, and he's gotten it.
Porter misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Seton Hall with the basketball. Shot clock is off. 35 seconds in the game, and the Pirates trail by 1. Morton to Bryant. Back to Morton. 25 seconds in the ball game. Seton Hall has lost 13 straight to St. John's. 15 seconds left. Major with the ball. Timeout, Pirates. Well, will 13 seconds be lucky or unlucky here? Seton Hall down a point, but they have the basketball. And we'll come back for the final seconds of play. But Seton Hall has the basketball with 13 ticks remaining.
Well, right here, Bruce. One, they have to get the ball in bounds, which I think St. John's is going to allow them to get it in. I think you have to go to Bryant.
Major plays it into Sally. 10 seconds to play. Morton directing traffic. 6 seconds. Morton losing the ball with 4. Let's see. He's got to throw it up. Good if it goes. No good. It's over. The tip does not count. The tip is no good.